Shalom, and welcome to Hebrew Bible Secrets with your host, Rabbi Beaton. We are reading today from the book of Luke, starting at chapter 24. Luke, chapter 24, verse 1. 1. Now upon one of the weekly Sabbaths, very early in the morning, they came to the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. 2. And they found the stone rolled away from the tomb. 3. And they entered in and did not find the body of Yahushua. 4. And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, 2 men stood by them in shining garments. 5. And as they were afraid and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said to them, Why seek you the living among the dead? 6. He is not here, but is risen. Remember how he spoke to you when he was yet in Galilee. 7. Saying, The Son of Man must be handed over into the hands of the sinful men, and be impaled, and the third day rise again. 8. And they remembered his words. 9. And returned from the tomb, and told all these things to the 11, and to all the rest. 10. It was Miriam of Magdala, and Yona, and Miriam, the mother of Yaakov, and other women that were with them, which told these things to the emissaries. 11. And their words seemed to them as idle tales, and they believed them not. 12. Then arose Kepha, and ran to the tomb, and stooping down, he beheld the linen clothes laid by themselves, and departed, wondering in himself at that which was come to pass. 13. And behold, 2 of them went the same day to a village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 7 miles. 14. And they talked together of all these things which had happened. 15. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Yahushua himself drew near and went with them. 16. But their eyes were kept from recognizing him. 17. And he said to them, What manner of communications are these that you have one to another as you walk and are sad? 18. And one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answering said to him, Are you the only foreigner in Jerusalem, and have not known the things which have come to pass there in these days? 19. And he said to them, What things? And they said to him, Concerning Yahushua of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and word, before Elohim and all the people. 20. And how the chief Kohanim and our rulers handed him to be condemned to death, and had him impaled. 21. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the 3rd day since these things were done. 22. Yes, and certain women also of our company made us astonished, which went early to the tomb. 23. And when they found not his body, they came, saying that they had also seen a vision of Malachim, angels, which said that he was alive. 24. And certain of them which were with us went to the tomb, and found it empty, as the women had said, but they did not see him. 25. Then he said to them, O fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets had spoken. 26. Ought not Messiah to have suffered these things, and to enter into his glory? 27. And beginning at Moshe, Musa, and all the prophets, he expounded to them in all the scrolls the things concerning himself. 28. And they drew near to the village where they went, and he made as though he would have gone further. 29. And they urged him, saying, Abide with us, for it is towards evening, and the day is far spent. And he went in to tarry with them. 30. And it came to pass, As he sat at table with them, he took lechem, bread, and blessed it, and broke it, and gave it to them. 31. And their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. 32. And they said to one another, did not our heart burn within us, while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to our understanding the scrolls? 33. And they rose up the same hour and returned to Jerusalem, and found the 11 gathered together, and them that were with them. 34. Saying, the Master, Adon, Lord, is risen indeed, and has appeared to Shimon. 35. And they told what things were done in the way, and how they recognized him in the breaking of lechem, bread. 36. And as they thus spoke, Yahshua himself stood in the midst of them, and said to them, Shalom be to you. 37. And they were terrified and frightened, and supposed that they had seen a ruach, spirit. 38. And he said to them, why are you troubled? And why do thoughts arise in your hearts? 39. Behold, my hands and my feet, that it is I, myself. Handle me and see, for a ruach, spirit, has not flesh and bones, as you see me have. 40. And when he had thus spoken, he showed them his hands and his feet. 41. And while they yet believed not for joy, and wondered, he said to them, have you here any food? 42. And they gave him a piece of broiled fish and of a honeycomb. 43. And he took it and ate before them. 44. And he said to them, these are the words which I spoke to you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the Torah of Moshe, Musa, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. 45. Then he opened their understanding, that they might understand the scrolls. 46. And he said to them, this is how it is written, Messiah to suffer, and to rise from the dead the third day. 47. And that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name among all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. 48. And you are witnesses of these things. 49. And behold, I send the promise of my Av upon you, but wait in the city of Jerusalem until you be clothed with power from on high. 50. And he led them out as far as to Bethany, and he lifted up his hands and blessed them. 51. And it came to pass, while he blessed them, he was parted from them and went up to the Shamayim. 52. And they returned to Jerusalem with great joy. 53. And were continually in the Beth Hamikdash temple, praising and saying, blessed is Elohim. The Besorah according to Luke. So, okay, that brings us now to the end of Luke, chapter 24. So let's go back and have a look at some of the footnotes. So the first footnote we have is in verse 1. Now upon one of the weekly Sabbaths. So let's have a look at this. Now upon. So Miaton Sabbaton means first of the weekly Sabbaths in the count to Shavuot, Pentecost. Okay, so it's the first weekly Sabbath before we get to Pentecost. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote. The next footnote is in verse 13. And behold, two of them. So let's have a look at this. Behold, two of them. So one was Cleopas and the other was Simon, the son of Cleopas, Yahshua's cousin, who was confirmed by Hegesippus. He later became bishop of Jerusalem. Eusebius, Ecclesiastical History 3.11.1. Cleopas married Miriam, Yeshua's mother, after her husband Joseph died. He was the younger brother of Joseph and did this in a levirate marriage. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 18. And one of them, whose name was Cleopas, so let's have a look at this. So the step uncle of Yahushua. Okay, so Cleopas, the step uncle of Yahushua. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 21. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done. So let's have a look at this, since these things were done. So we have here, these men were out walking a distance of 7 miles on the Sabbath day. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 26. Ought not Messiah to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory? Okay, so we have here Isaiah 52 and Isaiah 53. So for more understanding, read Isaiah 52 and Isaiah 53. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 27. And beginning at Musa, and all the prophets, he expounded to them in all the scrolls the things concerning himself. Because let's have a look at this, and the beginning of Musa. So we have here quoting mostly, likely, Deuteronomy 18, 15 to 18. So let's have a look at Deuteronomy 18, 15 to 18, quickly. So Deuteronomy 18, 15 to 18. So 15 reads, Yahweh your power will raise up for you a prophet from among you, your brethren like me. You shall listen to him. 16. According to all that you desired of Yahweh, your power, in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh, my power, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. 17. And Yahweh said to me, they have spoken well, that which they have spoken. 18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like you, and you will put my words in his mouth. And he shall speak to them all that I shall command him. Okay, so we have some footnotes here, so let's have a look at the footnotes. So we have a footnote for, like me, you shall listen to him. So let's have a look at this. This is all the righteous prophets of Yahweh who would warn Israel not to commit adultery. This can fit Yahushua, the Messiah, into the prophethood as he taught Torah and repentance to turn to Yahweh. Okay, so we have another footnote here in verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet. So let's have a look at this. This was not Muhammad, as the Muslims claim. See Islam, Peace or Beast, written by Rabbi Salman Altaf. Okay, so we have a continuation there. So I'll raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. So we have a footnote for brethren. And the footnote reads, the prophet, the Hebrew word is Navi, and not Ha-Navi. So it's not relating to a singular figure, but to all future prophets of Israel who would speak the words of Yahweh and be Yahweh's mouthpiece, so to speak, and to do miracles likewise. See Isaiah 59:21 and Jeremiah 1-9. The term here is related to establishing the house of a prophet, as to who can be a prophet and who cannot. In Deuteronomy 18, Israel was being warned not to indulge in black magic, sorcery, mediums, for their answers to prayers, but looked to the guidance of the prophets. Jesus, Yahushua, could fit the prophethood spoken of in Deuteronomy 18 and 15. Okay, so we have another footnote here. So, brethren like you. So let's have a look at this. Brethren like you. So the same black color as Musa. Okay, and we have another footnote, continuation. And we'll put my words in his mouth. So let's have a look at this. So the office of prophet, which applies to all future called out prophets, teaching Torah and are greater than the king of the land. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote. Verse 40. And when they had thus spoken, he showed them his hands and his feet. So let's have a look at this. So Western manuscripts do not have this reading, but the others do. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 44. And he said to them, these are the words which I have spoke to ye while I was yet with you. That is, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the Torah of Moshe. Okay, which were written in the Torah. So let's have a look at this. So such as Genesis 3:15 and Deuteronomy 18:15 to 18, which I've just read. So we'll have a look at Genesis 3:15. So Genesis 3:15, and it reads, and I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your descendants, your seed, and her descendants, seed. And he shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Okay, so we have a couple of footnotes in here. So the first one we have is descendants, seed. So let's have a look at this. So Satan's seed are all those who are unsaved. In literal here, the seed was of Lilith, who are demons trying to throw mankind. Okay? So the demon seed comes from Lilith. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote in here. And her descendants seed. So let's have a look at this. The word zera here is plural and connects to no single individual, but to the whole of Israel. Christians misapply this as some kind of special single seed passage, while there are numerous passages quoting a woman's seed, pointing to her descendants. So for that, read Genesis 16:10, 24:60, and 22:17. Okay. So we have one last footnote. And you shall bruise his heel. So let's have a look at this. So Yahweh will crush Satan. The Hebrew word shuf is used, and he, Satan, will injure the people of Israel. Okay. So let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 44. It's a continuation. And in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. So let's have a look at this, in the prophets and in the Psalms. This is also the correct order of scriptures. Torah, prophets, and Psalms. Okay. So let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 50. And he led them out as far as Bethany, and he lifted up his hands and blessed them. Okay, so let's have a look at this quickly. This was the high priestly prayer known as the Aaronic benediction, which is with the hands lifted up and palms facing outward, forming a W or shin. But he was not from the tribe of Levi, hence it's puzzling why he would make such a benediction. Okay, so that now brings us to the end of Luke chapter 24, and I thank you for watching and hope to see you on the other side. This is Rabbi Beaton saying thank you for watching and shalom shalom. Baruch Shem, Kivod, Malkuto, Leolam Va'ed. Benevolent be the name of his esteemed kingdom, forever and ever and ever. Amen.